to go see Fall Out Boy. It's Mary's favorite band. You'll see her there. Probably shirt up.
Oh, yeah.
Front row. Will you be front row?
No,
Will you be backstage?
That would be incredible. I'll throw up if that happens.
You'll throw up?
Yep.
Wow. You want to see Mary throw up with her shirt over her head? Fall Out Boy and special guest Bring Me the Horizon. All the way from England. Tuesday, July 18th. It's going to happen at Blossom. It's part of the Minutemen concert series. Tickets, info, all that. LiveNation.com. For people who've been hitting me up, try to get these tickets. Fall Out Boy and Bring Me the Horizon. Big, big tour. Good luck. Caller 10. These are yours. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
Summertime means beers, barbecues, and fishing the occasional drunk friend out of the lake while he searches for his arm. Hey, buddy, you find it? This is the
Year was that they have, because there's a Rhythm and Blues Funk Hall of Fame or something like that. I think the Ohio players are in there. But I only mention that because what you might think of the typical Ohioan is changing all the time. And somebody sent me this BuzzFeed or somebody did they did AI versions of every of just typical people in every state. Have you seen this?
No.
I have not, but that's hilarious.
I'll show it to you if you're watching the live stream. Let me find it here first. Hold on. I thought I sent it to myself, but it is, there you go. AI photos of men and women in every state. You know, this is, I guess, from the 70s or something, but they have a more current one, too. And things have changed over time. Let me find what they think is the typical Ohioan, according to AI, your artificial intelligentsia, putting these out. There you go. I'll show you here on the live stream. This is what they think the in the 70s. There's a modern one, though, too, and I don't...
I found the modern one.
Yeah, I'm on the BuzzFeed one.
Yeah, that's the one I'm on, too, and I can't...
It doesn't look like the 70s.
I had it...
Well, he found the 70s one.
Right, the 70s one.
Arkansas looks like, who's the people from Ozark?
The Birds?
No. The old, not Maureen. What was her name?
Darlene?
Darlene! The Arkansas
Darlene.
chick looks like Darlene.
Here's Ohio. Yeah, there you go. The current ones there.
Okay.
Kind of like a craft beer looking dude, and then kind of a
I mean, it's
post-collegiate blonde. I mean, none of these are that far off the reservation. I mean, North Dakota, a little bit more of an indigenous people vibe going on there. North Carolina, New York, New Mexico.
Ohio and Oregon look very similar.
There's Ohio. There's Oregon. Yeah, they do. Very, very similar. Oregon, kind of more of your Portland vibe there. But I'm always wondering, anytime there are lists, and again, I'm not the conspiratorial type. I believe that whatever conspiracies people believe, if they have to make them up, they're probably false. It's the things that are happening in front of our eyes every single day. And they don't really rise to the level of conspiracies. They're just things that are happening in front of us every day. And we know they're happening, but we can't really process them. Every time there's something now, we're still at that kind of level where AI, they're making it fun, for lack of a better word. But in the meantime, there's probably awful, awful things being studied and developed with artificial intelligence. But in the meantime, you end up with BuzzFeed lists like this.
Which state are you hooking up with?
But I always wonder what this is for. That they're crowdsourcing something. You know, like when they talk about these apps where, hey, see, and we've all fallen prey to them. You know, we're just human. These apps are like, hey, see what you'd look like if you were 80. And then, you know, somebody will go, you know, this is just them taking pictures of people, right? This is for a database of facial recognition technology and things like that. And they're absolutely correct. That's what those things are. But they turn them into fun games so that you voluntarily have a picture of your face that they've, you know. What state am I hooking up with?
Yeah, which state? They say, we saw you from across the bar and wanted to know if you want to come up to our room. Which state?
I like this chick in Arizona. Like to cut her jib.
Let me see the Arizona one again, because California's
There's
pretty
Arizona.
good too. Okay, Arizona's all right, and then the
California's
older guy,
all right.
older guy's pretty.
Well, I
he's
have to
kinda
hook
got
up
a
with the
Billy-
guy too.
No, but
Oh.
I mean, he's gonna be there. It's that kind of thing.
He's rugged.
You're it's a hot wifing. So like he's gonna be there, but you're gonna be banging his wife.
Hot wifing?
You never heard of hot wifing?
No.
Oh,
He's
man.
going to be there, and I am going to bang his. He's going to watch.
Yeah.
A different word.
Oh,
No,
Let's
that's
see.
hot wifing. Is
is that the new cuck?
I didn't know if I could say it.
Cuck? Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
But I mean,
it's
hot
what I
wifing
get
is,
called by our mega listeners on a daily basis.
Cucking is more like a derogatory thing, but like hot wifing is just like, hey man, she's hot. I share her.
Oh, all right. Oh, the cucking is when you're doing it against the guy's will,
Kinda, yeah.
and hot wifing is, hey, I have a hot wife.
Come have some.
Come have some of her. Okay. Illinois, my home state. Check out these two.
Okay.
You got to dig
She's-
that.
She's hot.
Nevada's kind of
lovely.
like a Adam Levine looking guy. I don't mind him.
Nevada.
Oh, why does everybody's nose so red? Like they're alcoholics or something?
They might be if they're living in Nevada.
It's a
No,
guy,
all
isn't
of them. I
Ah.
feel like everybody's nose is red in these pictures.
Don't know.
it? Oh, not Missouri.
Anyway, these are, it's kind of interesting to look at.
Dude, you're talking about AI and all this. I, for the first time ever, watched Black Mirror last night.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Gwen started watching it from the beginning too because
I watched
she,
5 of them. I like
from
Googled,
the very beginning.
No, I just
Oh.
Googled like best Black Mirror episodes.
Yep.
And then kind of cross-referenced 2 or 3 different sites and picked a few that
Which
were
ones
listed
did
as the
you
best.
watch?
Well, the one that messed me up the most was the very first one ever with that Prime Minister.
Prime Minister and the
Yeah,
pig.
that one's
Dude,
messed up, yeah.
it really seriously messed me up. Like,
Right.
to the point where I was journaling about it today because I was thinking, I know it's just a show, right?
Mm-hmm.
This Prime Minister, they kidnapped the princess. They're like, you either get the princess back and you have to screw a pig on live television or she dies. And then I'm like, my brain is spiraling. It's 1:30 in the morning. And I'm like, oh my God, what if he liked it? What if this is how he found out he was into bestiality? By the way, written show. You know what I mean? Like, this person doesn't exist.
Well, and I
But
forgot.
I'm like having serious emotional distress for this character.
Yes, that's what makes it a good show.
That-
those
I
first
don't like
seasons,
that.
those first seasons of Black Mirror are like 15 years old
They're
now or something.
old.
Yeah. There's a big hiatus in between seasons. Gwen started from the beginning because I just didn't tell you about Black Mirror because I didn't think it would be something you'd be into.
It's
But she watched that, and then we were
creepy.
both watching the second one, which was like before Daniel Kaluuya was like really well known. He was in Black Mirror. He's the guy in Get Out
Mm-hmm.
and Black Panther. He was in this episode called 15 Million Merits,
That's a great episode.
where you have
didn't
to
watch that one.
you have to bike. It's all dystopian. Every episode is like dystopian, fill in the blanks.
But everything is also like super, super techie. Like the other one I watched was called Nosedive.
Yes.
No, that was a great one.
Where everybody rates every interaction and every person on a scale of
That's
1
the
to
Bryce
10.
Dallas Howard one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
The
The
redhead
redhead lady.
actress?
Yes,
Yeah.
but I'm watching it and I'm like, this is real life. And then I
Yeah.
started to get like real freaked out because I'm like, it was just a very uncomfortable night, but I could not stop watching these shows. And
That's why I was-
thinking
It's fun. It's
Well, I was
good.
thinking about like, this is the future. Like, I was
This is, yeah.
Brian's been passed out on the couch for 4 hours. He watched half of one episode. Now I'm spiraling where I'm like, what if I'm into
All right,
bestiality?
what other
Like,
ones
is
did you
this?
watch? Well, that's a weird place to take it because
No,
I don't
but-
think the guy ended. The episode didn't end with the prime minister walking.
this is
the
great.
thing on the
But what if
leash,
I'm like, but what if that's how he found out about it?
Puffing up his chest
And
yeah.
then like this is a secret part of his life forever. And then there's like I also Googled it where it's like fear of becoming a serial killer and things like that. Apparently this is like what essentially intrusive thoughts are where like, oh, what if one day I grow up and I start killing people or I'm
You gotta grow
attracted
up
to little
first, and
kids
that's
or whatever.
Why I'll be fine.
You'll be fine. But I watched that one. I watched
That's why I was kind of so underwhelmed by this new season because I think Charlie Brooker was like, I can't make real life any weirder, so I'm going to go back to the 70s. It's a very analog season of Black Mirror.
But
We
they
only
had
watched the one.
some. I mean that the astronaut one was wild.
There were a couple, yeah,
The
but I mean,
AI one was great. I like the true crime one where they were doing the documentary. I
oh,
thought
the
that had
Loch
a-
Henry one?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Ireland. We watched that one.
Yeah,
and
that
that
was-
one I was like felt like, oh, this could be real.
but I didn't even feel like that was a Black Mirror type show.
No, it
I
felt
mean,
like just kind of like a short film almost.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of where
because it was 90 minutes long.
that's
Yeah.
kind of where they went. I feel like this season because some of the tech stuff is gotten so out of it. They're like, yeah, let's bring it to more what pop culture is doing to us.
You know which one I really
Because
liked?
like the true crime documentary, like where they wanted to make this film, and then they're like, oh, let's do this true crime story, and like that's a streaming service is going to pick that up immediately,
Well,
especially when you get to the point where
should we give it
where
away?
they found,
I want to talk
you
about
know,
the end of it.
yeah.
But like, well, and when they're doing the true crime documentary, and then there's the kid whose like life was ruined because of it, and then they're just like talking about casting the new series, and I'm like, this is real. People are like, oh, I'm a true crime junkie, and I'm like, I feel like that is so messed up to say. Like the books I read are fake. Okay, so the husband's murdering people and being locked in rooms and children drowning in bathtubs, it's all not real. This came out of an author's head. When people are like, oh, I'm obsessed
from
with
real life,
true
yeah.
crime, that creeps me out kind of.
Well,
I think part of it is that society has gotten so it's always been unpredictable, but now it's unpredictable and everybody's mad and armed. And I think some people.
But being obsessed with people dying and
Well,
how they die.
I think some people are obsessed in the sense that they're like, maybe this will help me identify things if I can collate enough of this information in my own head than in real life.
like
'cause
research.
Kind of, for lack of a better word.
I think there's degrees though, because I don't like murder dramas. Like
You like rape, right?
but the thing is,
Surviving R. Kelly is more his speed.
but I'm saying those people are alive. They're there to tell their tale, and there's like survivors. Yes, they overcame trauma, but there's a storyline in that, and I feel like they're all the better for it. But when you're discussing someone's death, I mean, the brutality of it, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, I can't get enough. Can you believe he dragged her and chopped her up? And I'm like, that's I don't like that. That
But
is
you
like,
watch R. Kelly, Surviving R. Kelly on a
R. Kelly
loop.
never killed anybody.
He tortured him, locked him in a basement.
They're still alive though.
Oh my God.
They're still alive though.
They are alive. He didn't kill them.
I guess.
They're
He just
still-
killed their spirit.
No,
he killed
didn't.
their will to live.
No, he didn't. He didn't kill their spirit. All that's why it's called Surviving R. Kelly. No one died. They survived.
Well, there's a
and they're-
difference between surviving and being alive. I mean,
Correct.
yes, they are physically alive, but nobody thinks they're a better person for having gone through that.
No, I don't. But you are a survivor. But
Are you going to stick with Black Mirror? There's some great
I don't
high
know,
points
man.
because they're all kind of long, but I
It
mean, there's
really
great episodes.
messed me up last night. Like that pig one really screwed with me. Like I couldn't sleep because then I went on a spiral of like, how do people end up as cannibals? Is it from something like this? Like they're forced to eat human meat once and then they like it? Like what if I accidentally
Like
eat human
Always
meat?
Sunny in Philadelphia.
I don't know. I've never seen that, but I was literally.
Oh, Charlie, I want to eat that guy so bad.
Please watch Striking Vipers.
No.
Oh, God.
2
Don't
in the
watch
morning.
Striking
2
Vipers.
in the morning, I'm laying in bed debating waking up Brian and being like, do you think I'll be
Tell Brian to
cannibal one
watch
day?
Striking Vipers.
I don't know, man.
Watch White Christmas, because I have a man crush on John Hamm. Watch Playtest. Watch USS
Ooh,
Callister.
Playtest is a good one.
The
Yeah,
one that
there's
I liked-
great episodes.
No, watch Striking Vipers. I think you would like that
Watch
one a lot.
Metalhead.
It's
Yeah.
different.
Messing me up, man.
It's
It's making me
different.
super uncomfortable. I'm having like really bad thoughts while I watch, and also reading all those murder books. Like
Yeah.
this is not a good universe for me to be living in.
did you
Yes,
watch?
but you
watch-
keep yourself in that universe.
And I
you
need to
watch
stop.
these books in perpetuity. You know what you should watch is the movie. You should watch Bandersnatch, which was very divisive. This is a choose your own adventure Black Mirror movie.
I like the idea behind that one, but I thought the execution, and I know
I
it's
agree.
super hard to execute
Yes.
something like that, but I thought it was it
That
it
might
was interesting, but it could have been way cooler.
That might make her feel a little bit better
Yeah.
about.
I liked the episode called Black Museum, where it
Yeah.
was like that crime museum.
Yep.
And because I like a good revenge story.
That was
I
a
like
great one.
Yes, that one I felt good about. Where I was like, hell yeah, you killed that man.
What's the one with the robot that's chasing
Metalhead,
I haven't seen
Metalhead?
that
the
one.
robot dog.
Yeah, robot.
I only
dog.
watched 5. I
Okay.
watched the first one with the pig. I watched the Black Museum one with the crime museum. I watched the
Just
log
watch.
one.
Just watch them all.
Watch
just,
'em all.
Yeah, just watch them all.
But tonight, watch Striking Vipers, and
Are these like the most messed up ones?
no, it's
No.
I think it's just a very interesting one, and I want to see what you think
Did
of
I
that
already
one.
watch the most messed up one?
You kind of did.
no, you didn't.
Not the most messed up, but
Nope.
you watched some messed up ones. But I mean, I think the Prime Minister one's the most messed up one.
Oh, dude,
by
that
far.
one, that was the last one I watched before I went to bed.
Oh wow, yeah.
that was
that's
the
a
one at
doozy.
1:30
Yeah.
in the morning where I'm laying there and I'm just thinking, my mind is spiraling. I'm like, this is how it happens.
And watch the first episode from this season called
Joan is Awful.
Joan is
We
Awful.
that's the one we started with.
Okay.
And it was kind of slow. And then
No,
I'm like,
no.
okay.
The most messed.
Oh, that
the,
one gets great.
the
Oh,
most
that
No,
messed
I
up.
watched the whole thing.
Oh, you
The
did?
most
Oh.
messed up one is Crocodile,
Which one was that?
where she hits the cyclist
Oh, yeah.
and then tries to keep going back and
Yeah.
take care of more people who are getting in the way of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I like the one. What's the one where they like record their life and like go back and rewatch it? That's like
I haven't seen that
one of the most dystopian ones. Okay, so you
Like,
watched
I'll be right back.
Joan is Awful.
I watched Joan is Awful.
You didn't.
That one was a little too far-fetched for me, where they're like, oh, this is a simulation, and then the next one's a simulation, another level up. and
I thought
there's
that was the most
endless-
Black Mirror of this season.
For
was
sure.
Joan is Awful.
Well, that's the one that I felt the most bored by.
Huh.
Where I
I
was
thought that one-
watching it,
I
and I was
thought
kind
that
of
was-
like, meh.
I thought that one is interesting because of how it takes people's likeness and makes them do things that they're getting upset about.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that
you
one's
know,
the most realistic, probably.
See, I
When
felt
people
like,
talk about AI is going to ruin
Yeah.
the movie business, because they're like, look, there will come a time when every person's face will be scanned, and you can go online and go, hey, make me a dinosaur movie with Samuel L. Jackson, and it'll just make it. Like, you'll cast your own movie.
there, you got a
they'll put
perfect
him
one.
in
It's
there.
called Jurassic Park.
Hold on to your butts.
yeah.
So anyway, there is your Black Mirror rundown for.
Well, we're talking about what's the point of AI,
Right.
and I'm watching all these AI episodes last night, and it's just like, man, this is so messed up. It's just messed up.
I would
And I hope it doesn't
Metalhead
turn
and Striking
out like
Vipers.
that.
Those are your homework assignments.
just go through, just watch them in succession.
I don't know that I want to anymore.
I mean, the first series was
Now you have to.
2011.
So listen, I had to sit down and journal this morning. That's how messed up I was. I journaled
Oh,
for like an
come
hour
on.
Ew.
About Black Mirror.
about the
You could have been
intrusive
taking
thoughts
that.
it gave
You
me.
could have been taking that time watching more Black Mirrors.
What is? I've never understood journaling.
It's just to get it all out. When your head it feels like there's so much going on where you can't sort out what's actually you're feeling or what's happening in your head, I journal on the computer, and then being able to see the words helps me sort it out.
It's
Like-
when her therapist waves the white flag. She goes,
I have
You
therapy
just go write this
tomorrow.
down.
I
She-
have therapy
Leave-
tomorrow.
Leave me
Ellen.
alone.
he hands her his pen and goes, you finish this.
So you get
I got to go have a gin and tonic.
Probably.
your brain gets so garbled, and
yeah.
jumbled that you don't know what you think.
No, not that I don't know what I think. I start to spiral. And I don't know
Okay.
if this is an
This
anxiety thing.
And that's why I'm curious about
So,
this
okay,
because
so
like
you want to hear? I'm going to be so
definitely-
honest. Here's
I've
what it is.
definitely dealt with anxiety, but like it was more just I know I don't want to do this and I have to do this.
No, my thing was like, so I watched,
So it was more dread.
not dread.
That's what I
So
had.
I watched that Prime Minister one where he has to have sex with a pig. And I'm like, there's people out there who have sex with animals and they like it. And that's what they
South
do.
Euclid.
And right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is a very real thing that people do. So then I'm thinking about this character, and I'm like, what if this guy had to do this, and then now this is part of his life, and his poor wife has to deal with that, and he never knew that this was a part of him. And then I was like,
The
what if?
fictional character?
Yes, and this is
Were
again.
you
Listen, hold on.
pot?
No, I wasn't on anything. I don't need
Were you
pot.
taking the pot?
So then I'm laying there, and I'm like, what if something happens in my life that's gonna make me attracted to animals? And then what? And then what if I
Like
become
Nala in The Lion King?
maybe? What if I become
Nala was the hottest animal.
as a part of this like whole? There's got to be a community
Nobody can.
who do this kind of stuff.
You can't.
You know?
You can't control your own brain. I
And that's
understand.
what's crazy.
I understand that. All I'm saying is, to the degree to which maybe you want to try to, if not control it, contain it or lay it out, there are so many things that will actually happen to you. Why lay out
No
all
idea.
these possibilities?
This is where
of-
my brain goes.
Right.
Because then it travels from bestiality
Keeping
to
Mary
like
away from my dog.
You
Well,
and
no, 'cause then
Poundcake
it
are
travels
the
from that.
king and queen of hypotheticals
100%,
that
but
will
they're-
never ever happen.
it travels from bestiality to cannibalism. Because I'm like, that's probably more likely. I have a cat. I've never felt like I want to do anything to my cat. I don't think I'm attracted to animals. That's probably not real. I've never had meat from a human. And I'm like, man, that
Not that
movie,
you know of.
that movie Fresh, where I'm like, he
Yup.
didn't discover it until later in his life. Now he's selling off people's body parts and people are paying $30,000 for a meatball. And then it's like, is this how serial killers get started? Where they never knew this was a part of them? Like that same Black Mirror episode where the guy got addicted to pain, where he had to feel pain in order to feel sensation. And I'm like, this is crazy. And then I start Googling intrusive thoughts, and it's like, yo, you just got to let it go. You just got to say brains are weird and move on. So
Is-
that's why I
is-
have to journal, to get
is
all that
the-
out.
Is the plan to go back to these journals in a number of years and see what happened? Or is the point to get it on paper, make it real, and then burn them?
Well, I don't burn them, but here's what I do. I'll get it out. I feel better. I feel like I'm in a more clear headspace. And then the next time I go to journal, I'll usually read the entry prior, whatever.
When last we left Mary's brain.
Yeah, kind of. And
Like an old-timey serial movie.
I'm almost always laughing at myself, though, because I'll go back and read the previous entry and be like, none of that was a big deal. But that's what helps me. Get it out, realize it's not a big deal, and then 2 weeks later, I can analyze it more clearly.
Are any of these creatively useful?
Probably.
I used to do that, Mary, before I came out of the closet when I was like a young teenager, maybe like 15, 16. I would write it, and this is how old it was and how poor we were. I kept it on a floppy disk, and it was like a daily journal.
Yeah.
And I would
Microsoft Word document.
And I would just write all my feelings about boys I had crushes on, or like, celebrities I would, and I take it out of the little floppy disk, and it would save it, and that was my journal. It was my journal on there.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of journaled when I was in the Philippines, but it was just because there was nothing else to do.
Dear mom and
Like,
dad.
I mean, like when I was in trouble and stuff like that, I would just like write stuff. But then I would usually end up just writing like short stories and stuff like that instead. But like journaling is never anything, because I can just, I mean, I'm not trying to brag right now, Mary, but when I have ridiculous thoughts, I go, well, that's ridiculous. And then
Not
I
me.
move on.
Not Cody. We sit there and we think about every single thing that could possibly go wrong in our lives. Am I worried about not getting approved for a home loan that Brian and I are probably going to be applying for in the next year? No, that thought has never crossed my mind. You know what it is? Maybe one day someone I love is going to end up into bestiality. And
Having
have to
sex
deal
with a
that.
pig. There
Yeah.
you go. Well, at least you'll be prepared.
Or
You
that
can go
you're
back
going to
through
want to eat a human.
You can
Yeah,
go.
or I'm going to want to eat human flesh.
You can
one
go
day.
back through your journaling reference materials.
Just tell
at the
yourself you
time.
have an allergy to humans, then you don't have to worry
Like
about
shellfish?
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Here's something that's going to go right. You hanging out with Poundcake tomorrow night on the Cleveland Funny Bus. It's a great time. He will make his one and only appearance hosting for you, and it is sold out, but I have 2 more seats, the last 2, for tomorrow night, and I'll hand those off to you on the way back. 35192 on a text for anything else, and we'll be back.
It's the Alan Cox Show.
Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app or whatever smart device you have.
Just tell me to play the Alan Cox Show on iHeartRadio.
Buzzard Radio.
The Buzzard.
Is